Hello, I'm Owen Thorne, and I'd like to welcome you to this gentle journey of rest. Tonight, you are invited to drift into a tranquil desert realm, where the golden rays of a new sunrise dance across Aladdin's ancient oasis. As you settle yourself, feel the gentle wave of calm moving through you. Let your breaths lengthen, each inhale becoming slightly deeper than the last, each exhale a little more releasing. Here, in the quiet of this moment, let your shoulders soften, your jaw loosen, and your eyelids grow heavier. There is nothing you need to do right now, but listen and relax. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a vast desert, the evening sky shimmering with a deep violet hue, signaling the hush that comes just before dawn. Soft grains of sand cradle your feet, warm yet soothing. The thought of this peaceful journey ahead beckons you to let go of any lingering tension. Soon, you will find yourself carried away by a story that gently unfolds in a land of magic and wonder. Let each breath guide you there, deeper into the sandy sanctuary of your imagination. Far off in that land of endless dunes, a small caravan makes its slow and graceful way across the darkened horizon. No one is hurried, no one rushes. The desert's nighttime hush is like a lullaby, weaving through the gentle footprints that appear, then fade in the shifting sands. The moon casts pale, silvery trails on each rolling dune, and a faint breeze murmurs softly through the date palms that thrive in secret pockets of desert life. The ground is smooth beneath those walking steps, silky as the night air. A single star, bright and steady, hovers overhead, guiding anyone willing to look skyward. Its radiance suggests a promise, a quiet assurance that a new dawn will bring warmth and light. This is the setting you enter now, a place of hushed winds, swaying palms, and a gentle anticipation of first light. In the calm that follows, let your breathing deepen. Breathe in the silent wonder. Breathe out any restlessness. You stand on the threshold of a desert oasis, prepared to let this story carry you towards solace and sleep. In the early hours before sunrise, a lone traveller crossed the soft dunes toward the heart of Aladdin's desert oasis. The traveller's footsteps were gentle, hardly leaving a mark. The sand underfoot still held warmth from the day before, but the air was cool and sweet with the promise of night's lingering peace. Overhead, a majestic sky stretched in velvety darkness, sprinkled with glittering stars that seemed close enough to touch. In the distance, faint silhouettes of palm trees rose against the horizon, their fronds swaying in a hushed desert breeze. This oasis was said to be a place of soft enchantment, hidden in the endless sea of sand. Its waters, clear and shimmering, had drawn many who heard whispered tales of its calm embrace. It was not a place of grandeur or imposing walls, but rather a gentle sanctuary, where moonlight played across the surfaces of reflective pools, and the wind carried a hint of jasmine that lingered at the edges of each breath. Everyone who passed through felt the weight of time slowing, as though the oasis existed outside the usual push and pull of the bustling world. Sleepy huts and pavilions were perched near tall palm trees, their wooden beams carved with swirling motifs reminiscent of starlight and swirling clouds. Softly glowing lanterns, still lit from the previous evening, swung in the breeze. Their warm glow formed little pools of light on the ground, as if they too were dozing in the desert hush. Sand-coloured dunes rose gently around this refuge, protecting it from stray winds. In the centre, an old well adorned with decorative tiles shimmered under the moon's lingering gaze. The tiles depicted scenes of ancient wonders, pictures of caravans crossing endless distances, camels with regal postures, and golden suns peeking over dunes. Water from the well spilled into a modest stream, winding through the oasis like a ribbon of moonlight, nourishing clusters of tropical flowers that spread out in colourful tufts. By these blossoms, a shy desert fox padded silently, stopping to sip the cool water before slipping away into the shadows. Sometimes a nightingale's song emerged from hidden branches, a liquid lullaby carrying across the sleeping settlement, blending with the soft hush of the breeze. Though the traveller had come by night, they knew this was a place that woke gently with the sunrise. Aladdin's desert oasis was a land of subtle enchantments, and its magic was not brash or loud. Rather, it was found in the patient way the dunes shifted with time, or how the water sparkled at dawn, or how the sky stretched in pastel ribbons at sunrise, welcoming each living creature to a new day. It was said that at first light, the entire oasis took on a golden glow, as though touched by the breath of ancient stories. Even the smallest rocks and pebbles gleamed in that dawn hush, and the waters reflected the sky's gentle blaze. Inside a modest pavilion near the stream, old woven carpets lay in soft layers on the sand. Cushions embroidered with intricate designs formed a circle for travellers and locals to gather. The traveller stepped inside and sensed the coolness that drifted from the stream. The glow of the moon fell through the open windows, revealing delicate arches shaped to resemble the curves of desert dunes. An oil lamp, nearly spent, flickered on a low wooden table. Next to it lay a worn scroll, half unrolled. The traveller bent to examine its faded script, catching sight of swirling ink that depicted tales of brave adventurers searching for hidden wonders beneath shifting sands. It was the kind of story that travelled by word of mouth, quietly weaving through campfires and whispered gatherings. As the traveller settled onto a cushion, the hush of the oasis seemed to cradle them. Outside, in the open clearing, gentle desert breezes stirred stray petals across the sand. The distant murmur of water reminded one of the preciousness of life in such a vast land. Here in this pavilion, it was easy to breathe softly, to let the mind wander through the endless star-filled skies above, to drift toward a space between wakefulness and sleep. The traveller recalled hearing legends of Aladdin himself once passing through this oasis, pausing to marvel at its serenity, perhaps dreaming of hidden treasures yet to be found beyond its boundaries. Yet, for all its lore, the place remained serenely humble, content in the role of a resting point for weary souls. Magic lay not so much in fantastic illusions, but in the calm presence of the desert itself. Time breathed slower here, and the traveller could feel their own pulse quieting, lulled by the hush of shifting sands. As hours floated by, a subtle, deepening light appeared along the far horizon. The stars began to recede, one by one, blending into a gentle navy wash of sky. In the hush of that early hour, the traveller rose from the cushion and stepped outside, drawn by the soft approach of dawn. A handful of other travellers stirred in their tents, or by small campfires, each sensing the special moment about to unfold. No one spoke loudly. A few whispered greetings drifted across the warm sand, quiet as the hush in a still lake. The light in the east began to blossom, turning faintly rosy at first, then brightening into warm hints of gold. The hush grew more profound, as if the oasis and the desert were holding their breath. Palm trees, once merely silhouettes, revealed their emerald fronds in the gentle light. The traveller wandered closer to the main pool of water, wanting to see how the reflections would change with the coming sunrise. Beneath their feet, the sand was cool now, the warmth of the day still a gentle memory waiting to awaken. At the water's edge, a cluster of pink and white desert lilies shimmered in the transition from night to day. Their petals, faintly dusted with desert sand, seemed to glow with a magical sheen. A few insects buzzed lazily, stirring from their nighttime rest. The water was so clear that tiny fish could be seen darting among the shallow reeds. Everything was still, as though the desert had not yet decided to wake fully, preferring those languid moments between night and morning. Then, with a soft brilliance, the first rays of the sun crested the dunes. Tendrils of gold fanned out into the sky, illuminating the oasis in a gentle radiance that felt like the unveiling of a quiet secret. The pale walls of the huts and pavilions took on a softly glowing hue, the golden beams brushing each surface with the warmth of a silent blessing. Even the water seemed to exhale light, shimmering like liquid dawn. Shadows, so long and faint, began to recede, drifting across the sand with delicate grace. With this golden illumination came a gentle stirring of life. A few camels, tethered near a date palm, raised their heads and blinked in the early light. A breeze, carrying the scent of distant citrus orchards, playfully ruffled the edges of rugs and scattered small flowers across the path. The traveller looked around and saw faces softened by awe and quiet contentment. It was the kind of dawn that arrived without fanfare, yet touched everything with a sense of renewal and calm wonder. There was no bustling commotion or blare of horns. Instead, the day announced itself with gentle grace, as if reminding each soul that mornings can be a slow awakening into hope. As the sun rose higher, the full chorus of desert life joined in. A sweet succession of birdsong echoed through the palm groves, a medley of chirps and trills echoing off sunlit dunes. The traveller wandered along a winding path toward the heart of the oasis, where small gardens flourished. In this place, the presence of water brought abundance, and date palms dropped their fruits into baskets waiting below. Clusters of small, fragrant blooms opened, releasing perfumes that drifted in the warming air. With each careful step, the traveller felt invited to linger. Soft footsteps carried them past artfully carved stone benches and graceful arches woven with ribbons of ivy. A gentle hush of leaves accompanied the desert breeze. Within these hidden nooks, one could pause to meditate, letting thoughts evaporate like the morning dew under the sun. Moving further, the traveller spotted small clay urns filled with water from the ancient well, left out for passing caravans or wandering animals. By one of these urns, a small group of doves gathered, pecking peacefully at scattered seeds before dipping their beaks into the cool, clear water. In a quiet courtyard at the far edge of the oasis, a single palm tree stood taller than all others, its trunk broad and its crown like an outstretched hand offering shade. Nearby, a flowing fountain trickled softly, feeding a mosaic-tiled basin that reflected the brilliant sky above. Bright shards of early sunlight danced in the water, creating patterns on the courtyard's smooth stones. Some believed this courtyard was a place of blessings, where travellers could close their eyes and speak their desires softly to the desert breeze. Legends whispered that heartfelt wishes might be carried off on the wind and granted in time, though seldom in ways one might expect. Drawn to the fountain's melodic murmur, the traveller approached and dipped a hand into the water. The sensation was both bracing and comforting. The reflection in the water showed a serene face, touched by morning's gentle glow. In that reflection, one could sense the slow unravelling of any burdens that had been carried across distant lands. The peaceful hush of the oasis made it easy to release the cares of yesterday, to embrace the stillness of dawn and the promise it held. Around the edges of the courtyard, desert flowers swayed gently, delicate petals trembling like small bells in the faint breeze. As the morning progressed, the light grew in warmth, and the traveller continued strolling through the oasis, noticing more signs of life awakening. Gentle voices murmured from nearby tents, travellers greeting each other in hushed tones. Some carried woven baskets brimming with bread and fruit to share. Others perched on cushions, sipping fragrant tea steeped with desert herbs. The aroma of freshly baked flatbread mingled with the sweet scent of dates, tickling the senses with a reminder of simple, nourishing fare. From time to time, one of the older inhabitants of the oasis would come outside to greet the day, wearing a calm smile that spoke of familiarity with these gentle dawns. Wrinkles at the corners of their eyes suggested many sunrises witnessed in this place, each one cherished. Their voices were soft, carrying a melodic accent shaped by the rhythms of shifting sands. A sense of timelessness pervaded the atmosphere, as if dawn and dusk were old friends, guiding life in a gentle cycle of renewal and rest. In the heart of the oasis, the stream that flowed from the old well gurgled and shimmered in the strengthening light. Small arcs of water danced over smooth stones, creating a soothing lullaby. The traveller paused here, gazing at the reflection of the sky, recalling how moments of wonder can be found even in the most ordinary routines. There was no sense of urgency, no pressing demands. The desert taught patience by its very nature. Even the blossoming flowers knew to wait for the sun's gentle heat before fully opening their petals. As midday approached, the desert began to hum with a subtle heat, though the shade of the oasis offered relief beneath the lush foliage. Quiet nooks beckoned travellers to sit, relax, or even doze. The traveller found a spot beneath a canopy of palms, where the thick fronds rustled in the breeze, whispering secrets of far-off dunes. A few scattered clouds drifted across the brilliant blue sky, their forms reminiscent of ships sailing through a boundless sea. It was a perfect time to reflect, to let the mind wander freely. The oasis, gently alive with birdsong and trickling water, allowed all worries to dissolve. Looking beyond the palms, dunes swayed in ripples of light, a golden tapestry that invited the imagination to roam. The traveller had heard of hidden wonders resting beneath those towering sands, perhaps ancient lamps or hoards of precious stones. But in this peaceful hour, the notion of treasure seemed unnecessary. The desert itself was a treasure, a living testament to the harmony between stillness and motion, ruggedness and beauty. It was a place where stories from centuries past merged with the tranquil present, reminding all who came to set aside the clamour of the busy world. During the hush of the afternoon, the traveller drifted into a light slumber, lulled by the rustling wind and the distant coo of birds near the well. Time flowed gently. Even the sun, perched overhead, seemed to slow its march, savouring the warm hush of the desert day. When at last the traveller woke, the shift in shadows signalled the coming of late afternoon. The desert's colours deepened, turning a soft bronze under the lowering sun. The breeze carried a faint coolness, promising reprieve from the lingering heat. Evening approached once again, and the oasis began its gentle transition. Lanterns were lit around the pavilion, glowing like small, welcoming stars. Families and wanderers gathered to share stories, each tale intertwining with the living tapestry of the desert. The traveller, listening quietly, felt an unspoken bond with these people, who found community in the remote stillness of this place. The water in the fountain shimmered in torchlight, reflecting the returning hush of dusk, that gentle prelude to the next night's rest. Yet, as the gold of sunset followed the gold of sunrise, no one raced to complete tasks. Instead, the hush of the shifting dunes taught acceptance, a slow approach to the passage of day into evening. When the sun finally slipped below the horizon, painting the sky in layers of pink and tangerine, the oasis embraced its nightly ritual. Bats fluttered in small arcs overhead, and the date palms cast long shadows across the sands. Soft conversation ensued around modest fires, and the sweet fragrance of spiced tea filled the air. In this cycle of day and night, dawn and dusk, the traveller discovered a deep sense of peace. There was a rhythm here, an assurance that each sunrise would bring a gentle, life-affirming light, and each sunset would cradle the world in a serene hush. The desert, for all its vastness, felt intimate and comforting within the oasis. The presence of water and shelter stood as a testament to harmony with nature's rhythms. This was the true treasure, calm and renewal offered to anyone who paused here, letting the desert's quiet voice speak to their heart. On the second dawn, the traveller woke once more to the dreamlike glow of early light. Stepping outside, they found a renewed appreciation for the way golden rays touched every surface, transforming ordinary stones into glimmering jewels, turning each droplet of water into a tiny prism. The oasis welcomed morning visitors. Birds flocked to the stream, and small desert creatures ventured out in search of nourishment. There was a simple yet profound magic in witnessing these everyday wonders. Now, as the traveller prepared to continue their journey, they felt a gentle reluctance to leave this place that had embraced them so softly. But the deserts called onward, urging them to explore further horizons. Before departing, they made their way to the quiet courtyard and stood by the old fountain, letting the soothing sound of water imprint in their memory. Closing their eyes, they breathed in the fragrance of the desert, the sweetness of flowers, and the warmth of the rising sun. Perhaps a silent wish formed in their mind, unspoken yet felt in the calm rhythm of their heartbeat. Then, opening their eyes, the traveller took one last lingering look at Aladdin's desert oasis. Golden sunlight still graced the sands. Palms still swayed in the gentle breeze. With a heart quietly brimming with gratitude and serenity, the traveller stepped away, footprints soon fading into the shifting dunes. Now that the day has drifted on its course, and you have travelled through this oasis in your imagination, let the slow unfolding of each moment ease you closer to rest. The soft hush of the desert night returns in your mind. Picture the sand underfoot, cool and velvety, each step a gentle invitation to unwind further. The palm fronds offer their lullaby, and the fountains resume their murmuring. Every breath you take connects you to this serene refuge, a place of endless calm, where time unwinds and worries melt like grains of sand in the wind. Feel the gentle waves of relaxation washing through your body. Let your chest rise and fall with each breath, unhurried and content. Notice your limbs growing pleasantly heavy, sinking into the softness of your bed. Your eyelids too grow heavier, each blink slower than the last. Thoughts that once seemed pressing begin to drift, losing their edges and dissolving into the tranquil backdrop of the oasis. Breathe in, calm and steady. Breathe out, releasing any tension you still carry. In the distance of your mind's eye, the oasis remains, eternal and patient, a sanctuary to which you can return whenever you wish. Here, dawn always arrives with a golden warmth that soothes the soul, and night always folds the desert in a blanket of starlight. Let that sense of infinite peace guide you deeper into rest. There is no need for haste. Your thoughts can drift like clouds over a moonlit sky, floating across a desert that offers only gentleness and renewal. In this quiet expanse, let the moment unfold and welcome sleep as a soft companion. Feel the last bits of tension slip away with each gentle breath. All around is calm, soft as the desert breeze. Listen to the lullaby of silence, the hush that dwells between the dunes, whispering softly that all is well. Allow your mind to rest upon this tranquil image, warm and serene. The desert night gently wraps around you, and the oasis glimmers in the moon's soft glow. Shadows sway under gentle lantern light, and a hush drifts through your thoughts. One by one, your muscles settle into the night's embrace. Your heartbeat slows, matching the serene pulse of this ancient realm. Here, in the stillness, the promise of tomorrow's golden sunrise is but a memory of comfort, a whispered reassurance that beyond the quiet of night, new light will always come. Now, let yourself drift away, carried by the soothing hush of Aladdin's desert oasis. Let your breathing become slow and soft. Allow your thoughts to grow faint, like footprints erased by shifting sands. The hush of evening welcomes you. The gentle expanse of desert cradles you. All is peaceful. All is well. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well.